presented by Union Bank of India and powered by LIC of India.
Hello everybody, my name is Rekha Shivdasani and welcome to my world of art. There are no boundaries, no restrictions. You can go out there and mix most medias one with the other. So I'm going to take you through 3 segments. The first one is going to be charcoals, which is really the basic learning ground for drawing, painting and everything. After which we will move to oils, inks, and we will finish off with acrylics. So let's start on this journey of art. Charcoal has 3 types of charcoal that we can use. One is the compressed in the pencil, one is the compressed in a chunky, and the other is willow. All are used for different types of results on your charcoal. So let's start. If you're a righty, I recommend you start with everything on your left because otherwise you will be smudging it as you go along. So let's start with this young enlightened man, the Buddha. And I've done a basic sketch here already so we can save time. We go in, put in the charcoal, take the thicker charcoal for the larger areas of dark. For minor detailing, we go back to the pencil. And it is amazing how beautifully this stretches. There's nothing like using your fingers and stretching the color. So there we go. Start off with the first one. Soften one side as you move along. And push in the dark areas. Okay? There's a little nostril here that needs to come in. And there. Accentuate the dark here. If you feel your fingers are too thick to handle any of the smaller areas, feel free to go in and use the stub. It's nothing but compressed paper wound up together. And you know what? You can add whatever kind of details you like. You want the center part of the lip. The most important thing to understand about art is light and dark. Once you have understood where your light source is, we're going to take this right side as our light source. So everything on the opposite side of it is going to be dark and shaded. So out with just the basic line of the lips. You turn it upwards and you give him a little smile. Buddha's bottom lip is just this. We will just suggest this because we will finish the rest of the lip with the compressed and the stub. All right, here we go. Suggesting here, there are so many interesting ways to use your eraser, which I will also show you in a charcoal. It gives an amazing amount of depth to your painting, details, etc. No rules to this. You want it smudgy, you can do it like that. You want it flat, you can do more charcoal and just pull it in like this. So the left side is the dark side. So we're going to focus on giving much more dark here. Keeping in mind that there's a wonderful little eyelid over here. Keeping in mind that you have a shadow to do below the eyes. So it looks nice going in there, meeting up here like that. All dark on this side. It's going to be all dark on this side. Now, what I'm going to be doing here is very interesting. I'm going to be pulling the same charcoal darker on this side and grade to a much lighter on this side. If you do circular motions, you don't get any streaks, which is very, very essential for skin. If you don't want very dark, remember, you should always apply a little less charcoal than you need, because the rest of it just pulls out. Remember to leave that little lid. Actually shaping it with the finger. Leave the glows and let's move on. Okay, you can actually even draw with the stub if necessary, but that is just part of the ear that I'm showing over here. Do not complete your lines. It always looks much better if you kind of leave it to a suggestion. Okay, now we're going to, my favorite word on this is we're going to harmonize. We're going to harmonize all this and see how we can get it to look really nice. Dark here, coming into the lid because it's the darker side. Not so dark there, softening this with your finger and then pulling it up like that. So that's what you got. Gently pulling in circular motions to the cheek, which is going to shine. Pulling from here, from the nose shading. If you don't want it too dark, this is when you come in and use the willow, because it releases much less color and you have a very, very interesting grey tone. I would go for much darker on this side. Your chin will also be shaded here. Your neck here will be really dark. This is the lobe of the Buddha's ear. Literally pulling this from the lines we have made. Let's take this and harmonize it into your Buddha. So I'm going to take the shadow beyond the nostril, under the nostril, very gently pulling it out. Now, this side is easy because it's the darker side, so you don't have too much to leave, but even then you will leave the bulge of the cheek as a little shine. It is this side, the other side, that's going to be the challenge. Back to this, back to pulling your dark all the way under the lip, right here, grey on the face, so that the dark of the neck will automatically stand out. So where it is the neck, we're going to make it darker. Start on this side and stop. Fill this up and stop. Over here. By the time you reach here, just grey. Circular motions. Soften the joint by running your finger back and forth. Soften the joint. Now, what are we going to do with this? We're going to make this side of the lip slightly grey. I'm going to take the stub and I'm going to just soften this part. And the upper lip is actually going to be black in color. So we're going to take the charcoal from there and we're going to make the upper lip dark. Circular motions, pulling it through. Little dips at the edge of the mouth to give it a nice look. Little dips. What I'm teaching you here is a more detailed charcoal. By the time I reach the horse, which is here, it's going to be far quicker, easier lines, etc. Too plain, all grey, one color, not allowed. We're going to make it darker on this side and gently blending it into the other side, possibly picking it up into the outline. Here, softening, softening, and then we just go like this for the lower lip, very gently. Make sure your hand is clean for the other side. Use a clean finger otherwise. Or take a pencil eraser and pull out those lights in here. Soften and pull it out. I love those little lines there, so I don't even think I'm going to do too much about it. Back now to this wonderful part where this is going to end in abstraction. I don't want to go into the horse, so I'm going to leave that very gently be. If there's no grey or charcoal, there's nothing to erase in order to get the design that we want. Alright? So, let's do a simple design. Instead of going with the swirls that a Buddha normally has, or I could demonstrate both for you. Here's the swirl. Take it with a small eraser and erase your little swirls here. You can do it like this. Alright? I'm going to show you one part of it like this. And the other part we're going to do with so you understand that there are various options for doing the hair. And we're going to go like this. So that in itself also looks like his hair. Okay? So to make it look harmonious, I'm going to bring this side as well. And take it into the background. So that I'm not completing. I really don't want to complete all of it. Because all I want is the suggestion. Remove all the fluff of the... And there's your Buddha. Okay? Now I'm going to show you a quicker version of doing a charcoal.
Why?
Where we're going to be far more abstract in the look. Just the eye is going to have some detail. Horse's eyes are round, almost full eyeball. Not really too much of anything else. So, since the area is so small, I'm going to leave that white for the pupil and in with the dark around it. Okay? Just a little shine. What do horse's eyes have? Lots of eyelids. One. This is going to build into the nostril here, which is like a little paisley, and it's going to go in to make a little line there. So in order to have my horse's eye look a little bigger, I'm going to give press and release and give me the lines. Press and release. Alright? Now, this is all I'm going to be doing to this horse. Then I'm going to go in with my charcoal and give this look. Let's say the nostril is dark here. I'm going to go dark here. A little bit of grey there. Little bit of grey here, dark. Building into the nostril here. And matching it on the same height is another nostril there, which is going to build its way into this and the forehead. Ear is dark on the inside and stop. Into nothing. Into nothing. And then I'm going to work with my lovely charcoal pencil, giving you the kind of shading and slight difference. Alright? Lots of little squiggly lines. Here's the little bottom. You want to shade a bit here? Sure, because it's the bottom part. Shade it and just let it be into nothing. Want to shade the bottom part of this lip? Sure. But you'll see how little I'm putting in some places, and in some places I'm putting much more. This is going upwards to the nose, right? So this is going to come down there. I'm going to blend this a little bit like that. And then I'm going to start with my crazy lines. One ear. Lots of lines. Little hair coming out. Okay. Suggesting from here several lines like that. You see that? Almost done. This is entirely your call. Whatever you want to do, don't want to do. Here's this ear. And going into this part, there's the neck and the hair coming out of it. You can even do it just like that. No big deal. Or this hair is going to come down here like this. You want dark on this side of the jaw? Sure. Let's put it in and pull it out into the neck. Okay, that's what you're going to get for charcoal. And we're done with this. We're going to move on now to doing inks. Very, very interesting medium. I'm going to show you how to do the bleeding, the putting in of the inks, and then I'm going to show you how to do charcoal on top of it. So we're mixing two mediums. I'm also going to show you how to stick little scraps of paper that you like. It could be newspaper cuttings, it could be anything, your call. We'll hang on to the charcoal because we're going to need this. So the first thing you're going to do is your little piece of paper. I have put some gesso on it and I've kind of textured it. So what you see here is the sponge that has been squeezed, so it gives you these little bubbly looks. When you apply paint on this, it looks very, very nice. So first we're going to put just enough water to make it bleed. What are the colors we're going to take for inks? I have these amazing Dalarani acrylic inks which blend beautifully. Okay, so let's take some amazing colors. Since we're already going to put black on it, let's go with some, let's say blue, and black goes very well. So we'll take blue and brown. And we're going to, again, even in this, you have to decide which is your light source here. So last time we took the light source from there. This time we're going to take the light source from the left. So you understand that how you're going to make it darker on one side and lighter on the other. In between this, I'm going to add a little bit of black down on this portion. Okay? I like to close my inks because if there's an accident and it falls, I don't want to be stuck with ink all over my floor. I'm going to put the blue here because you will watch that as I stretch it. Can you see the lovely designs coming up with that? There are two ways you can manage this. Keep your spray handy. You can pull it like this, add more water and let it stretch. Okay? Leave the dark. Remember, anything that's water-based will always lighten as it dries. So not so much water that it creates havoc and too much bleeding on your painting, but just enough to give it that movement. You just want movement. Okay, this part is too dry, so I'm going to add a little water here. And you'll see that the water itself does its own magic. I'm going to coax the colors into each other, sometimes with water. Oh, that was nice. Why did I remove it? Sometimes I'm going to just let it do its own magic. All this is just by itself. You don't even need to touch it. So the dark side is over. Because of the acrylic, when I stretch the paint with the spatula like that, I'm going to get these textures. See, it's important where you put what color, because you don't want all brown going into all blacks and then suddenly going into blue. No, you're gently coaxing one color into the other. So you have a happy blend, okay? I will be adding some, I'm going to take some more black over here. Because even though it's the light side, I'm going to make it grey. So the more water I add, I'll get a very pale grey. I don't know if you will get time to see the dried version of this, but I will send the picture in and your group will show it to you. See this lovely one here? I'm going to borrow some of the black from here and put it on there and then spray it with water. Then I get that lovely, all the raised parts release the color and all the ridges pick up the color. Okay? Oh, there's nothing you can do wrong in this. I mean, really, if you're in control, there's really nothing you can do wrong. Now, a couple of tips here. Take your spatula and if you want, you can pull the color like this, giving yourself a little bit of dimension here. Because since I'm going to be going into charcoal on this, I'm giving a little suggestion of what I'm going to do. This is a beautiful part. When you're trying to fill something else into it, take it to a part that's really not so important. This is gorgeous. This is looking gorgeous. This is the most unimportant looking part. So what I'm going to do is, even while the ink is wet, I'm going to take my charcoal and I'm going to give you a few. See that? This is my compressed, so it's very strong, all right? You have to handle it carefully. I'm going to go back later on with other, and I'd like one this way, over here, okay? So there's my charcoal. Now, interesting, but still a little boring. There's so much more you can do to this. So we're going to pick up our willow, which works very well on water. And we're going to give a few interesting things. I don't think this is going to work. It's going to cut the paper. So I'm going to take my pencil, which is sharp. Don't worry about any You watching? I would like one of these squares also to be shaded. So I'm going to put charcoal on only one side and shade it. You see that? Now I'm going to build my way into more lines. Connectivity, very important. If I'm going to leave this isolated, it's not going to look good. So I'm going to be taking some lines that will go into this here, form two little squares like that, maybe a loop, and maybe just something here, who knows, and a little zigzag going down to give me some detailing here. And there's your ink abstract. Your call, you want to put something more there, you want to add more color, but this is how it's going to dry. I hope you enjoyed that one. And now we come to the last instruction, which is acrylics. I've saved it for the last because it is the toughest. I need to get rid of this first. So I'm going to put it away where it will not drip too much. And try and get you a shot of it later on, so you can see what exactly happened to it as it dried. Okay. Acrylics are a little less forgiving. Some of the other mediums, you can do so much with it, but acrylics are a little less forgiving. So let's set up our second sheet. If you don't want to spend your money on canvases, take any nice piece of paper that you have and cover it with gesso or a colored acrylic, and you will get what you want. I have used white because I have not yet decided what I'm going to be doing with this. So I like to work in a neat space, so I'm just going to kind of clean it up so there's no chance of any color coming onto my other color that I'm using on the... So on this I'm going to teach you some spatula work, some roller work, etc. But first, in order to make an interesting background, I will give you the push to learn whatever I can teach you with this. It's up to you then to develop it and move on with your own style and your own whatever. Okay, so we take a roller. I have one in which I have punched holes and you'll see what that does. I have a plain roller which will give you the basic color. So I'm thinking if I'm going to do red flowers, we're going to work on it this time. I want to keep the bubbles down. No, I'll keep the bubbles up because here I'm going to put in a vase later on. Okay, ideally I would like to draw the vase first. I don't know if it will show through, maybe not. Okay, like that. Drawing with willow, easiest to draw on, and then it's going to go, the flowers are going to go like this. Okay, maybe one on the floor there. Now I'm going to take a beautiful brown. I don't think the drawing is going to show, but let's figure it out. Let's use the center as the light source this time, so that we've altered every single light source. There's a little black to make it dark. Remember, wherever the flowers are going to be, it must be dark. Otherwise, your flowers will not stand out in their glow. And I'm going to take some yellow, because I don't want the brown and black to be so dark. So I'll put the yellow in this light area, but not too much because the flowers have to come in there and it should be a little dark. So we're going to take this roller, okay? You're going to spray some water on it because I put the paint directly on. It's paper. If it's canvas, I could fool around with it a little more. But because it's paper, I need to be a little more careful with the water. And I'm going to roll the color, okay? Roll it with the browns. Let's just get a very, very interesting... If you don't like the color you're getting, shake like that. Rotate like that. And put in the color you want. Oh, nice black. Green balls coming, we'll rotate it. So, we obviously want it to be darker at the bottom. Brown and black. The more unevenness, the better. But it should not look a mess. That is not fun. It should look like a method to the madness. All this rolling is the most fun part of your painting. But it's got to look like there's a method to the madness. Once I do this, it's going to be wet for a good 2-3 minutes. There goes the drawing. So I can play around with it for a while. Alright, now let's go with this dark part where the flowers are going to be. And then I'll show you how we will harmonize it. Okay? Into the brown. See? Harmonized into the brown. Into the brown. I'm not going to touch the yellow because I'm going to show you another trick with the yellow with my little roller with holes on it. So let's say we have the dark here and I want to add a little more dark on the sides. Go for it. Go for it. A little more dark on this side. How nice will that look? Nice, nice. Turn the roller over. Dark side. Put it in. I like that black line there. So I'm actually going to leave it. If you don't want to kill your furniture, put newspaper under your paper before you start work. Now I'm going to do that crazy look with this roller with the holes, alright? Yep, even I'm getting better at all this demonstration while I'm talking to you. When I first started, I was wondering, oh God, how is this going to be? There should not be enough water so that it comes off when you squeeze, okay? So squeeze it dry. Make sure there's nothing. If you're worried, you roll it. Then I'm going to put it on the yellow and you watch what it does. See that? Wonderful. And I'm going to close out my background with this kind of look. So I have a slightly different look on this. See the roller, the way it comes with those little holes in it? it'll almost look like your leaves on the side. Of course, a lot of this is going to get lost. I want more dark in the center because my flowers will not show. So I'm going to go in and repress that in here, leaving out those little areas. Okay? Because we're short of time, I'm going to actually put in the vase and show you the spatula flowers right now. But really, this should be allowed to dry. This should be allowed to dry. That was my timer for 30 minutes, but I'm going to take you a little more. Doesn't matter, 30 minutes or not. So I'm going to now put the vase over here. This is the most important part. And maybe just a few of the stalks, so you get a direction. Otherwise, you won't know what you're doing. Right. Now we're going to work with a brush first, and then we're going to work with a spatula. My same beautiful angled spatula that gives you the looks that you want. So I'm going to take a little, I'm going to take this paper here and put it there while the acrylic is wet. So you don't even need glue. You can just stick it there so you have a little fun in your... I'm going to put the other one on the inks. But for that, I'm going to need glue. So I'm going to put a little of the art glue on it and stick it on the abstract, the ink, and which I will show you once we are done with the flowers. What is the rule on this again? Always put it in the most unimportant part, where the painting is doing nothing. When I bring that paper with the inks back over here, how nice is that looking, isn't it? Look at the glow, you can almost see the lights over there. What do you say we go with a blue vase? Because there's going to be no blue flowers. So I'm going to go with a blue vase with the brush. So I'm going to need blue and I'm going to need white, because the white for the lights. I'm going to make it slightly grayish white, so I don't need too much. Can you see my paints? No, you can't. So you're going to see the paints here that much. All right. Where's my brush? I have 2 glasses here of water. I'm going to be using to just wet my brush. Make sure your brush is not so wet that the paint is liquid. Just wipe it a little bit and carry on. Bold strokes. Nice. What a lovely blue. Remember, the glow was from the center, the light. So we're going to go with the blue all around. All around with the blue. Lovely. Lovely color. What an amazing color. I must tell you, whoever is watching this, that this is a new brand of paint that is going to be available in the market very soon. This is done by Pidilite. And it is Fevicryl, the acrylics. The viscosity is amazing. And the paint, the colors are just unmatched. I have not, in all the years I have painted, I have not seen colors that have come out so good. Perfect. That was just the right amount of blue. Now, some people would put the blue and then leave the white. No. Better you eat into your flower. Oh, that looks so nice, these strokes. Look at that. Look at that. I love the brown peeping through in places. I'm going to give you a little dark at the bottom there later. So, going into my flower area, because that gives me the freedom. Then I'm going to take the light and I'm going to put it in the center. Okay? Just in the center. So, when you first put the white, it'll pick up the blue and give you an bluish light. You can then wash your brush, pick up pure light and give me the final slash. Let's say here. Let's say here. 2 of them. Okay? So we have the bowl shining, the flower vase. I'm not particularly happy with that, but let's keep it for now. Okay, What's important is that it has to have a curve. Otherwise the bowl will not look curved. That's better. Straight here but curved here. A little uneven maybe. Okay. Now, in order to get the flowers all looking good, we already have that. I'm going to take a little black. You can take a burnt umber or a brown as well. And before I do each flower, I'm not going to dry my brush too much because I do want it a little wet. If you're not confident of where to put what flower, you draw little X's. Core, for the core of the flower. Alright? For the core of the flower, for the core pointing downwards, this one will also be forward, but this one will here be facing upwards. So like that. Another one here. Let's see, another one there. Don't have to put too many because we're going to get these amazing greens that are going to be the fillers. I'm going to do a little bud over here facing downwards. Remember, I'm using cups. So this one will be facing upwards, this one downwards, this one forward, and this one kind of sideways, you know, like that. We'll see as we go along whether we want more or not. So if this is facing downwards, we're going to give the cup there. This one like this, just the centers, facing upwards, just the center, okay? Downwards, up there, and forward. Now, what are we going to do to this? We're going to gently just use your finger and just harmonize the edge, not on the inner core dark part, but on the upper part that's going to meet the petals, all right? Here the petals are going to meet all around, so I don't even have to worry about that. Not comfortable using your finger, use another brush. Now comes the fun part. We're going to take the red in 2 tones and you're going to construct the flower. Literally. First the dark, then the light. In every medium except watercolor. All tones move from dark to light. Watercolor is the only one where you build up the dark. So here we have my palette, which I must also share my trick on this. I cover foil on it, so when I'm done, I just take the foil and I throw it. I don't have to worry about cleaning or whatever. So here is our vase, okay? And then I'm going to take red and orange. Orange and red. I have my lovely red here already, and possibly some white. We'll get down to the greens later. Squeeze a fair amount. Fair amount because there's quite a few flowers. There are 2 types of spatulas you can use. You can use this, but I will use this one for the greens. I'm going to use that angled one for the flower. Again, in a flower, there's a method to the madness, all right? So we take this and let's start with the front-facing one. We start first with the dark red, okay? Let me move my palette up so you can see what I'm picking up. Let's take the dark red and we will move in the direction of how we want the flower to look, okay? Like that, like that. Coming onto the vase. Finished. I don't want too much. I'm going to do another flower here because I need the vase to be covered. And another one here. We do need those. Then I'm going to cover the rest with greens. Alright? Back again to this one. Smaller one maybe. Finished. That's all it takes. Right? This one will be short petals for this part because it's the bottom of the flower. Can you see that? And then we take the petals this way. I'm not giving you the lines as yet because I'm going to do that with the orange. Can you see the direction of the flower already? In this one also I'm going to do short, very, very short petals here because I already have a flower underneath it. Then I'm going to do the longer ones here. Yes. You know, as you paint, there's this lovely little tickle that arises up in your belly because you know what you're doing looks good. And that's how you should be feeling. Amazing. Yeah, there we go. As long as you're in control and you've got your focus on what you are painting, there's very little you can do wrong. Now let's get this one to go like this. Curved and the petals there. A little more red. Flash it for the brighter areas. Okay. Now you literally go so fast. One more there. One more here with the short petals like this. This painting is going to take overnight to dry. So please don't fiddle with it. Put it somewhere flat. Let's do this with the leaves going downwards like that. Why not? Petals. You can play. Enjoy yourself. Yes. I think one more flower somewhere here. So let's go back in with the black. What do you say? Let's get this head on, facing forward. So this one's going to be equal all around. Equal all around. This black is important because it gives you, yeah. What do you think? Oh, forgot to do this one. Forgot to do this one. Gonna go deeper here into that. Okay, perfect. What do you think? Now, because I have so much red left, I'm going to thicken the leaves in some portions. This one for sure. Keeping in mind that I still have the orange to put. Actually, with the black there, it's looking so good that I really don't need to put. But light source is center, so everything here will be light, right? Everything here will be light. Everything here, here, top of that, here. Let's just catch the tops of these. Light on the top. If you want on some of them, you can give shapes like that. With this, if you want the abstract look, like that. Okay, now I'm being greedy here because I have that much orange out, so I'm thinking, oh, I want to finish this. But you know what? Let the paint be. You need to work with only as much color as you need. All right, that's done. Now we're going to go with the green leaves. Just going to take one sap green along with the black that's already there, and then the yellow. Sap green, yellow. So the black that I have here already, I'm going to take it with the sap green for the darker areas. And then I'll have plain sap green for the lighter leaves. What are leaves? They are fillers. So we're going to literally go like this. Fillers. Fillers. Black and green for starters, please. Because that's the dark leaves first. Let's say I got some here. I got one sticking out there. I've got the green stalk here. You will learn in time what a beautiful flat brush can do. It's just the stalk here, another leaf there. And I'm going to build some greens here so that all this gets covered. All the other parts of the leaves I'm going to do in. Now that's the reason we needed the background to be dark. So if there's no leaves there, I won't miss it. 1. I'd say that's enough. And now I'm going to go in with the dark greens. Pointy spatula so that I get the leaf shape. 1, 2, like that, like this, okay? If you can't handle that, you go like this. You point the leaf, the spatula in the direction of the leaf. If you can't handle the spatula, carry on with the... Please don't cover all the greens because now we're only working with light. Alright? Only light. And then I'm going to work with the... I'm going to give the green shape this way here. I don't want it any other way. And then I'm going to take the yellow. Not pure yellow, please. Take the yellow with the green. And just give me the highlights. This is the center part. Gonna give highlight here on this leaf, on this leaf, on this leaf. Here there are no lights. This leaf maybe. Remember, this is spatula work, so you're never gonna get that photographic look, but the effect is amazing. And what is the last I'm going to do here? What I missed out? I missed out on the dark under the... So I'm going to just put it in. Put in the black. And... stop, sideways brush, and gently pull it out to harmonize wherever you want it to be. Okay? Looks like that. There's your flowers. Lights in the center, reds, oranges, greens, and that's complete. I hope you girls enjoyed the session. I'm going to not girls, I'm so used to girls coming to class. I hope everybody enjoyed the session. I'm going to show you the ink where I have put the piece of paper, and I'm going to show you how we're going to shade it. Because this is charcoal here, I'm going to take, the light is coming from this side. So I'm going to put the charcoal here, and I'm very gently going to go like this. Or put it on the paper and let it pull out. Okay? Pull out into the shadows, like that. So we have completed abstract, we have the flowers, and we have the charcoal. Thank you so much for being with me. You take care.
चीनू के जाने के बाद घर कितना सूना सूना हो जाएगा, नहीं?
कहो तो मैं रिटायर हो जाऊं?
अभी एजुकेशन लोन और रिटायरमेंट के खर्चे ना बाबा ना।
और अगर रिटायरमेंट ऑलरेडी सिक्योर्ड हो तो
फिर हो जाओ रिटायर। और वैसे भी शाम की चाय साथ पीना काफी रोमांटिक है, नहीं?
चले। स्मार्ट लोगों की क्लियर है प्रायोरिटी, बाकी सब बाद में। सेकंड इनिंग से पहले LIC।